All right, and we're live. Hi, Sil. Hi, everyone. I am
Hi.
Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel, or welcome to Sil's channel. And today we are doing our hashtag 21 tarot questions.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're looking at too many hashtags. Oh, and I'm sorry, Sil, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'm Sil, Priscilla from A Life Full of Simplicity. And yeah, we're doing the hashtag from Lisa Pepez. I believe she created the hashtag with her wife Peggy, or Peggy created it and she did it on her channel.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of those
so yeah. I'm super excited. It's a pretty popular hashtag, so I
Yeah, it's been
mean,
really fun to go through, and I sent you that playlist, so I've been like
yeah.
picking through and going through the ones that I can like at least like jump through so I can just look at everybody's stuff really
Yeah, me
quickly.
too.
So, okay, let's go ahead and just get started.
Mhm.
Again, there are 21 questions, so bear with us. If you guys have any decks that you have that come to mind when we're talking about it, feel free to let us know in the comments. So, number one is the deck they'll have to pry out of your cold, dead hands. What did you choose?
I thought that question was absolutely hilarious, and while I probably would have picked, the Wild Unknown tarot,
Really?
I would have probably picked that because it's probably one of my favorite decks, but I'm using it for another, prompt, and I didn't wanna, like, you reuse, tarot decks, like, I didn't wanna
Yeah.
do that, so instead, I went with the Tarot of Mystical Moments,
Oh, okay. Cool.
and and Luke is so funny. It doesn't really matter, just pick whatever. Um, yeah, so I really love this deck so much, and it's mainly because the artwork is totally up my alley, like, it's totally my style. It's quirky, it's strange, and I really love, strange decks sometimes that are more my style. This is actually very I wanna well, it has a different mix of, like, kind of like, Victorian kind of artwork and,
Mhm.
like, different mix of things, but I really like it because it mixes both, masculine and feminine energies, in my opinion.
Mhm.
The fact that they include both, emperors, they include a masculine feminine version, plus all the kings, they include a masculine and feminine version. So I would say, like, this is probably one of my absolute favorites. So I would say this is probably the deck that, someone would need to pry from my cold dead hands, which I thought was
I know
so
the
funny.
question's so dramatic.
I know, I love it.
For me, so I was trying to, like, not pick the obvious because oh, and by the way, we're not doing just tarot, even though it says tarot, we're doing tarot and oracle.
Yeah.
So I went with the Earth, Moon, and Shadow. It ended up being my number 1 for Oracle of the Year, in one of our previous lives, and it's
Oh, yeah.
still just I still just love it, and someone will have to, like, literally just yes, I don't know if they would even be able to pry it out of my cold dead hands. They'd have to just bury me with it. I really love the artwork. So I feel like I'm really, really picky with artwork in general. I'm a little more
Yeah.
loose with Oracle. I kind of try different things, but this one is just so like mesmerizing. And I feel like this is the first Oracle deck, that probably the first like deck in general that I really had like an emotional connection to immediately. The card stock is beautiful. The array of cards are just lovely. Like, look at that. Hold on. Like, just look at the so many things go on
I know.
in a lot of these cards. So it ranges from like really complex and really like unique. It includes both animals, it includes people, it includes like scenery. So there's so many things that I really like, and it hits on a lot of different parts, I feel like, of myself. And not all of them are dark either. So there's like really bright, vibrant cards. So this is more about the scenery, even though there are people in it. And then here we still have more scenery, even though this is um, with another crow. So I really love the way people are depicted in this. I really like the diversity in this, and just, the I think it was very well thought out. And of course, I really love the creator as well. She's so sweet. So that just makes me love the deck even more.
I know, I love Serafina. She's
Ye-
so nice.
She's so kind, and just really, I can tell she really just puts so much time and effort into
Mhm.
her art and everything. So it just really drives it home. It just makes it that much better. It's like the full
Yeah.
picture deck.
How excited are you for the tarot deck coming out next year?
I'm I'm trying not to be too excited because I feel like I'm gonna go insane. But I'm very excited. There are two creators actually. She's one of them that's creating a tarot deck along with an oracle deck that I got last year. The other one is, I think, how do I not have his deck over here? I think I put it away. But he's the one that created the Endless Oracle, and he's creating a tarot to go with it. He's the creator of Ink
Oh,
Witch
yes.
Tarot.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I
And
do know who that is, yeah.
I can't think of the name right now. It starts with an E, but I'm super between both of them. I'm like losing my mind because I'm like watching for like different updates, and he's posting like his behind the scenes of him drawing the tarot
Oh
deck.
my god, I
And I'm like,
love that.
oh God, I gotta stop looking.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because Serafina's deck, obviously the Oracle deck is coming back. Apparently, I haven't heard this specifically from Serafina, but I've heard in our community that she's actually going to be adding cards to her Oracle.
Ooh,
There's
can
going
you
to be
buy
some
them
extra.
separately, or will you have to get the new deck? I
I
wonder.
have
I guess
no idea.
we won't know. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that I don't know. But that would be interesting actually if she just like did like an expansion pack that people
Yeah.
could buy if they already had the original deck. But the thing is, I think she's changing the card stock to the Oracle. So
Oh, that would
I'm
make
not,
sense.
yeah, so I'm not sure if it would be in the same card
Well,
stock.
if I have to buy it again, then I guess I will.
Well, I'm sure she'll have like a bundle version, a
Yeah,
bundle with
a
the
bundle
tarot
of the tarot
and
and
the Oracle.
oracle. That
Yeah,
would probably I could see that.
yeah.
All right.
So,
Number 2, what's your guilty pleasure deck? And
okay,
then
so I
explain what you meant by your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, because I was so confused. Like I did the majority of the questions and that one I was just like I kept reading, rereading and I was like, I don't know what in the world this means. And Lisa showed like a sexy time deck and I
Mhm.
don't own decks like that in my collection.
Me neither.
Um most of them anyway on the market. Like other than the one that she showed, which is the erotic tarot, which is pretty tastefully done. The rest of them on the mass market realm are very
Subdued.
nat they're very not they're
No,
not good.
no.
They're not good. They're pretty
Oh, yeah.
grotesque in my opinion, or
I see what you mean.
gratuitous or whatever. They're a little too much in my opinion, um, in that regard. So I kept thinking, and then we were talking about how, like, maybe it could be, like, something that's, you know, taboo, like, it shows, like, things that are taboo or kind of, like, out of the norm
Controversial
and
or
things like
something
that.
like
So I was
that.
thinking maybe my White Newman because some of the cards and like there is like some nudity in there and they do some of the cards differently than traditional tarot. But then I was watching a few people, I watched a few of the some of the videos in the tag and I was like, okay, listening to what they were saying, some people were like, oh, fantasy, I don't really gravitate towards fantasy. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. So I was like, okay, maybe I will go with a guilty pleasure being something that's more like inner child like.
Okay.
So I went with my Kawaii Tarot by
Okay. I
Lulu
see that.
Mayo. Yeah, being my guilty pleasure in terms of it
Mhm.
being super cutesy. I love this deck so much. It's
I
so
remember when you
cute.
got that.
I know. Look at this little chubby panda and the little chubby owls. I love it so much.
I couldn't tell at all.
The sloths. Yeah, I love this deck, and I went, like, really ham in my video, and I was like, "Oh my god, so cute, so cute, so cute." I think someone got annoyed with me saying cute all the time, and I was like, "It's my video, I'm gonna say cute if I wanna say cute."
Hey, it is
So,
cute. I mean,
it is, it's really adorable, and I love it so much. Oh, look at this the 3 of swords, I love the clouds in this, deck. They have little like,
oh,
some of
your
them have
little faces.
faces. Yeah, I love it. Hey, Lana.
Hi.
And this bat, this little chubby bat, so cute. I love it so much. I don't know. There's so many unicorns in this deck. It's just so cute. And I don't use it often. I only use it for like specific things. So like for like fun inner child work.
Yeah,
So
I could see that.
I think there's definitely a guilty pleasure in that regard.
Yeah.
So yes.
Luke said his guilty pleasure deck is his Gothic Oracle deck. So
Oh,
that's
why?
interesting. I know, you'll have to
Why
let
the
us know, Luke.
Gothic Oracle deck?
Why is that your guilty pleasure?
You'll have to explain to us so we can
So for
understand.
me, I went with guilty pleasure in the sense like I probably spent a little more than I should have for it, but I'm very happy that I did. And that would be my Citadel Oracle, the special edition, because it
Oh,
came in this cool huge
yes.
box. And then it also came with two decks. It came with the actual Oracle deck and then like an
Mhm.
add-on deck,
Yeah,
which is
which is
actually
a
the reason
limited
why.
edition.
Yeah, in the limited edition. So this add-on deck is the reason I'm actually trying to practice Lenormand. But I got this deck mostly because of the uniquely shaped cards. They're octagonal, and then they have like the mm, just colored edges. They're not foiled or
Mhm.
anything, but I really like them. It's gonna help me kind of like get used to the elemental, the alchemical symbols for the elements, and
Yes.
I just thought it was really cool that it also comes with a game. And I want to get back into tabletop gaming and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I thought that would be cool to combine both the worlds because I've never done that. I know, I think it's Lisa and her wife do like a game thing with tarot every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, and I've always missed their lives. I've seen some of the recaps, but I just thought that would be really fun. And yeah, so this is my guilty pleasure because this cost US dollars. It costs like 112 US dollars. So
That's
I
actually pretty not that's pretty good
it
because in the
is.
UK it's $80, 80 pounds, right?
Yeah, I
In the
think it's
UK, right?
80 or is it 80 or 89? I can't remember.
I don't know. It was something like that, between 80 or 90 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty decent in US dollars. I believe it's like 150 in Canadian dollars, which is
Yeah.
just way
That
too
would have been a
expensive.
guiltier pleasure.
Definitely. I would have loved to get the special edition, but I can't
Rationalize.
even
Yeah.
I don't have funds like that in my possession, unfortunately. So
Uh,
I just ordered the standard edition, but I'm super excited to get it. The standard edition doesn't have edging. It does have the foiling though on the cards, but it doesn't have
yes.
edging. So I am excited to get that. I already got the date from Amazon. They said it's delivering June 6th, so let's see if
Fingers
that's
crossed.
actual true. And don't worry, Robin, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're literally only going into question 3, so
Yes.
you're
You
not
were.
that late, so it's
Oh,
okay.
and Alana says that it is 89 pounds.
Okay, 89 pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
not bad.
yeah, I'm lucky that the conversion rate is pretty low right now, so it wasn't too bad. But I
Yeah,
could have easily just gotten the regular edition and been fine.
yeah. But then you wouldn't get like all that extra stuff,
I
which is really
know.
cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so what did Luke say? Luke said it's beautiful but dark, gives powerful messages in a dark but seductive, alluring way. That's cool. It's it's a US Games deck, the Gothic Oracle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she has a tarot, like the artist, she also has a tarot, but her artwork is not made for tarot or oracle. I believe they bought the rights to use the artwork and then they kind of like
Adapted it. Okay.
curated it to the system. to the tarot system. From
Okay,
what I remember anyway, from
gotcha.
because the tarot is much older, much older. The oracle is newer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, what's a deck you wish existed?
Okay, this one was easy for me, Beauty and the Beast, and,
Oh,
I actually
that would be
that would be my number
fun.
1 fandom, like, if we were gonna
Yeah.
talk about fandom decks, because me, when I think of this question, I think fandoms. Um,
Yes, so do I.
so, yeah, Beauty and the Beast would be my number 1, but I would want it to be done well.
Yes, I was gonna say because Disney decks,
No no
notoriously
pips.
bad. So
Yeah, and that's because so I had a conversation with, one of the authors of those decks, and that's because Disney themselves, they actually approve everything, and they don't allow, I think this is how they want their decks to be. They don't want
mm,
their decks to be fully illustrated, I don't think, because it seems like the process is that they're told how to do the artwork, and Disney is
oh,
the one that approves everything. So
mm,
it's unfortunate, but what can you do? I don't know.
yeah, that
Yeah.
sucks.
So I don't know. Like if someone was to do it, like if someone was to really do it, I think it would probably be Pip, but as long as I feel like as long as the Pips are done well, because I feel like the Disney villains, like yes, some cards are Pipish, but not all of them are, and I feel like that deck is done pretty well in my opinion. And
Yeah.
the Nightmare Before Christmas is done pretty well as well. Like only some cards are Pipish, so I don't really mind that too much.
Okay, so,
So
like,
I
maybe
feel
a
like if
nice
it's
medium.
done, like even if it's mixed, like I'm okay if it's mixed. If it's just fully pip, like I don't mind pip decks, but if it was just fully pip, I would be kind of disappointed because that's like my biggest
Right,
fandom ever because I love Beauty and the Beast. She's my favorite
yeah.
princess. So
Is she? Aw.
yeah, Bella's my favorite princess.
I guess she
So
would probably be one of my favorites. Was really
yeah.
into the animal Disney movies as a kid and didn't
Oh,
really
me
get
too.
into
I have
the
several of them.
yeah, I didn't get into the people one until I was, like, in high school, so I was like, "Eh, okay."
Okay, side note, what's your favorite animal Disney film then?
Oh, Aristocats, hands down, like, that was my
I
life.
figured.
It was Aristocats, and then I really liked Oliver& and Company, and then I really liked, Fox and the Hound, and then, of
I
course, I liked
love
all
Fox and the Hound. I
I
have that movie
know.
on VHS.
I had that on VHS, and I had Aristocats on VHS. I don't know
I
why
don't
I
think
never had
I don't think
Oliver.
I have Aristocats on the VHS.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one, but I've seen it. I've seen that movie before.
Um, yeah, I watched it all the time. Like, I could probably quote it at one point in my life. I knew all the songs. Um, I even named my childhood cat, he was a boy, but I named him after Duchess, and he was Dutch.
Oh, I love that though.
Yeah, so I literally loved Aristocats.
So what do we have here? We
So,
have
Alana says, she wants Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, and
I
then
That would be
Luke
nice.
says more anime themed decks.
I feel
That's
like they would
interesting because
all be the same after a while.
we have so many anime themed decks.
Ye
So I guess
Yeah,
it would depend on what specific theme you're looking for.
unless you mean, like, a specific anime, like, not just anime in general, but, like, a
Yeah.
specific show, I could totally see that. Or,
Yeah.
a a specific group, like the
Mhm.
classic, like, Naruto, like, Dragon Ball Z, like, pick, like, a top 4, Bleach, and then
Yeah.
One Piece, and then it's just, like, the main characters throughout, that would be really cool. I could see that. But just in general anime, I feel like between anime and manga and all the different varieties, they kinda all seem the same to me.
Yeah. For sure. I definitely agree with that.
Oh gosh, this name thing is gonna, like, kill me. Alana says that The Lion King's one of her favorites. It's one of mine too. I think it's just, like, one of my favorite major classics, like,
Mm.
the on Broadway kinda Disney classics. The Lion King is probably my favorite in that regard. So for me, the deck that I existed is Harry Potter. I feel like that would be really, really fun.
Yeah.
Um,
There is actually they're not official Harry Potter decks, but there
yeah.
is a black and white Harry Potter deck, and there is the one from Push Kitty, which is the Wizard's Tarot. That one's really cute in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't hit the mark for me. That's not what I'm looking for. But and I don't mind if they're movie based either with like the characters from the movies or if they're like original art based off of the
Yeah.
whatever. I just want the characters and the stories and like the images to make sense for the cards.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Robin says that she wants a Christmas movie deck.
Wait, like
Yes.
the
Which
Christmas movie or a Christmas movie? Like anyone?
Yeah, which Christmas movie? Because there's so many great Christmas movies, honestly. I love it.
I
Okay,
don't know what
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Bleach, and My Hero Academia. Academia? I don't
acad-
know how you
academia.
Academia? I don't know. Um I'm a Griffle Filepuff. What? Like a Hufflepuff and a
Alana.
Gryffindor
Oh,
mixed? I don't know.
Lana. It's Alana. Banana. Okay. Just gonna call her Alana Banana so that way I remember.
You should.
I will. Okay. Number 4. What deck would you give to a new reader?
Okay, so I pulled 2 decks for this purpose because typically
Say
I always
Rider Waite.
recommend the RWS.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
everyone knows what this looks like, but I usually recommend the RWS. It could be any version of the RW. This is the only version I own, plus I own the Modern Hue, which is a recolored version.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah.
typically I recommend this
Yeah.
to start, but a lot of people don't like traditional artwork.
Yeah.
So the other deck that I really love and that I like to recommend is the Lightseers. Yep, the Lightseers Pocket
Yes.
Edition. Sorry, I need to throw this out. Little promo. Pocket Edition is coming out in August,
That is true. That is true.
and it's in a tin. So yes, the Lightseers. I love this deck so much. It's definitely one of my favorite decks. I love the artwork. I love Kristanne. I have all
Yeah.
her decks. She's one of those that she puts out a deck and I need to have it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
her artwork is amazing. But yes, the Lightseers is fantastic. I love this deck so much. The artwork is modern. It gives a modern take. It's very boho in my opinion in some of the
Yes.
art,
I feel like it's a
which
little more relatable than the classic Rider Waite, but
definitely.
it's like the cusp of almost no longer being a clone, you know? So
Yes.
it's enough where people can still get enough of that original imagery, but still has enough of something else to start being creative as well.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree
So
100%.
that's
And for me, the court cards are probably the easiest
oh, hands
to
down.
read
I
because
totally agree.
and I have a hard time sometimes with court cards. Like I do know the meaning, but sometimes I'll mix them up, and I find the artwork is just so easy to pinpoint what it is I want to and how I want to interpret the card as
Yeah.
because they're just so easy to read, and I love this deck so much. So
I
yeah,
feel like it makes the court cards more relatable in a way.
100%,
Yeah, I
100%.
think that's what it really is, 'cause I kinda have that trouble too, and it's not that I don't know the meanings, it's just sometimes I don't
Exactly.
know how to relate it to what I'm talking about, and I need to, like, think about it a little
Yeah,
harder,
yeah.
but this makes it so much easier, and I love that we picked this. I kinda had a feeling we might for that one. Um, but yeah, I like this, and it's also affordable. It's almost always
So
on
affordable.
sale. In fact, I think it's on sale right
Always.
now,
Yeah.
like, as we speak, from Hay House,
Probably. I
and
wouldn't even be surprised.
yeah, and then there's the pocket edition coming out, so it's gonna be even more affordable and more, like, easier to travel with, so,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things going for it.
I am so excited for the tin. It's gonna be in a tin, and I'm, like, ecstatic about it. Just catching up on let's see.
Oh, she wants a
So
deck of all the old school Christmas movies.
oh.
That would be so cute.
Actually, yeah, but you know what I would want a deck of in terms of like Christmas? White Christmas. The movie White Christmas. I love that movie so much. I don't know if it's older, much older. So I
I
don't know if
don't
anyone's watched it, but
I've
I
never
love that
s
movie.
I don't know that I've ever heard of it. I honestly thought you meant the Black Mirror episode, and I was like, "That's pretty dark still." It's like, "Oh my god."
No, not Black Mirror. Oh my god, that show creeps me out. And they're making a new season apparently. You're talking about the Netflix
They
show, right?
they are yes,
Yeah, they're
they
making a
are.
new season
So
apparently.
excited.
But no, not that episode. No, it's actually a really older movie. It was made in the was it made in the 60s, I think? Let me see. White
Yeah, let me know.
Christmas. I think it was oh no, it's 1954. It was made
Oh,
in 1954. It's actually a musical and a movie. So they
I
do a
love
lot of
musicals.
dancing and a lot of like Christmas things. And it's literally the story about these two gentlemen and these two women. And they're putting on like this huge Christmas thing in Vermont. And yeah, it's just really cute and I
Oh,
really love it. And it's like really it's a much older film. But it's a classic. You know, I don't know if anyone knows the other movie where they say I don't remember the title, but it's when like there's like a bell and then the kid is like every time a bell rings an angel gets its wings or whatever. I don't that's also an older movie. That one's black and
mhm,
white, so that one's like a true really classic. So this is
mhm.
like a classic movie. Also,
I'm apparently not into Christmas movies now that I think about it.
I
I
love
don't
Christmas movies.
I can't even I mean, I guess I watched Die Hard. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Die Hard is a pretty good classic movie in my opinion. What else? What else? Luke would probably gift the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray. I have that. I would never gift that to be honest because it has a lot of cultural appropriation in it, but
I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah.
yeah. Um oh yes, the Lightseers. Wait, what? I can't wait for the Lightseers to be translated into English? Why it's not I'm confused. What's going on?
She said the big guidebook, but I'm not sure what that is.
I don't I don't know what that is either. Are you talking about the French edition? Because the French edition comes with a large guidebook, but the
Oh,
the one that comes with the English edition is in English. So I'm
maybe it's
pretty
a
sure it's
bigger
this.
book? Like a separate book or something?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure. Let us know, in the
I don't-
comments.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so
Yes, White Christmas every year. Fantastic. What's going on? Christmas Story. That's it. A Christmas Story. That's the one.
oh,
That's
okay.
like
I've never seen
black
that
and white. I
either.
think they recolored White Christmas. Yes, they did recolor White Christmas. I have the colored version. It was originally black and white. I think it starts in black and white and then goes into color.
Oh, kinda
Uh,
like Wizard of Oz style.
I think so, if I'm remembering correctly. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't remember, but I know that they it was originally black and white. Oh, A Miracle on 34th Street. Oh my god, I'm so excited with all these
I think I've
Christmas
seen that one
movies.
once. It was not really I am
Which
not
one? The original classic or the remake with what's his face in it? That actor. Oh god, what's his name?
I think the one I saw was in black and white.
Okay, then that's the classic.
Okay.
Because the original is in black and white, and then they made a new movie. I don't know, further some years after with new actors and things like that. That
Oh,
one's good
okay.
too. That one's good too. I still consider it a classic. I think it's from the 90s, the 80s or 90s or something like that. But
Mhm.
the original is black and white. And yes, Home Alone, Home Alone 1 and 2.
Home Alone 1 and 2, the only 2 good ones.
Yeah. Well, the third one is not even with the same people.
No, it's not. It's very
And then
weird.
there's a fourth movie and
4th one.
it's like really weird.
It
I don't know.
wasn't bad, but the whole premise was different.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. What's a deck you get along with but never clicked?
Okay, so I chose the Revelations Tarot. So
Hmm.
this is the deck. This is actually the first unboxing I ever put up on my channel,
Aw.
and I have used it a few times and not since. I haven't used it in a while. I should actually try using this again because it has an interesting concept. Actually, Anna recommends this all the time because it has it's very unique. The imagery, there's an upright image, and then when you reverse it, it has a different image.
Oh,
So it's like different from upright to reversed.
that is cool. I like that concept.
Yeah. And I like the artwork. It's very interesting. Um, but I don't know. I use it a few times and then I haven't used it since. It's a Llewellyn deck. So it's in the typical Llewellyn cardstock, which I really love. I love their cardstock. And oh, I think I have reversals mixed in here.
Yeah, I think mine are my deck that I'm gonna choose also is like that for some reason.
But it makes sense. This has like it has reversed and upright, and there's different images for both. Um, so yeah, yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't really clicked for me, and maybe it's because I haven't worked with it enough. So maybe I
Yeah.
should definitely do that. But at the moment, this is what I chose to fill the question.
So it's funny because Luke said wild unknown, and when I got my wild unknown, it took a while for me to like
I love my
click with it too. It took a long time for a multitude of reasons, but
and I
I'm
think a
all
lot of people have the same
yes.
issue with
I
the
think a
wild
lot of
unknown.
people have had the same experience. Like I had a friend when I got
Yeah.
was new into tarot, we were kind of new together, and she was like, "Yeah, I just resold it," and I was like, "Yeah, I spent a month doing nothing but reading with that, and that was how I kind of got over the hump." And she was like, "No, I wasn't really willing to put in the work for that." But so I feel like I have had 2 decks for this, but I went with this one because I actually use it way less. It's one of
Okay.
my first few Oracle decks. This is the, Moonlight Oracle deck by Tatiana Vedenkina. She actually has a new
Is
version of this
is
out,
that
but
indie?
yes.
Okay.
I
Because I've
believe her
never heard.
shop
Never heard.
is on Etsy.
Oh, okay.
But she has a new version of this where the cards are not so skinny and long. They're more I think they're more, card shaped, like playing card shaped almost. They're shorter and
Oh,
fatter.
okay.
Um, but I like parts of it, but, it has so it's really pretty. It's kind of like minimal almost, but then it has
Mm.
like the keywords on the cards. But I dislike it because of how many like gods and goddesses are in it, and I realize I don't like that.
Okay.
But when I got it, I was like, "Oh, this is cool because it has like crystals, and then it also has like just space stuff." So I thought I was really gonna like it.
Mm.
But then anytime I would get a reading and it would be like a goddess or a god, I'd be like, "Oh, okay." I was just not into
So,
it.
is it separated by suits?
It is not technically.
Okay, but is there, like, different
But
categories
there
in it? Or, like, or
yes.
is the god and goddess mixed in with the crystal, or
No,
'cause
it
could you
they
just
are
take out the
I
gods and
could,
goddesses?
but I feel
Not
like
use
I'm
them?
like, "Eh." Eh, eh. I
Because
yeah,
you
so
could just
they
do that
are.
if it has enough like, if it's a large deck,
I
you
would
could
have to
just remove
uh I have to see. I don't remember how many cards are in this. It
I don't
doesn't
know, it
say on
looks
the
pretty
bottom.
thick in your hand, so
It
I would
is. It
assume
is
there's
a
quite
nice
a
thick
lot.
deck. So maybe I could take them out and just like work with them. But I have so many other Oracle decks that I love so much more that I'm like, maybe I should just sell it.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's
Well, yeah,
the
if it's, like, not something you wanna work with, I guess.
I almost never reach for it. I mean, that was the first time I pulled it out since the last time, which was when I was reorganizing my shelf. So
Oh, okay.
it's kind of in my purgatory pile.
Oh, yeah, I know, a lot of people have those purgatory.
Mm-hmm. All right. What deck do you keep for the art?
Yeah, so I don't I don't I wasn't sure how to like wasn't sure how to like answer this question, to be honest. So I like decided to, and sorry if you hear the dog. My neighbor has dogs and they bark all the time. Um I wasn't sure like how to answer this because I don't like, I'm a collector. I'll keep my deck regardless of
Right.
whatever, right? Like I don't do like the decluttering and things like that. That's just not is not me. So I reframed the question to be like, what deck do I really like the art? So if I was to ever declutter or whatever, I would keep it because of the artwork if I didn't use it.
Okay.
So I chose the Botanica Tarot.
Oh,
Now, I do use this deck usually in the summertime because it's
yeah.
plants and whatnot, and the art is not traditional RWS. Now the
No, it's
meanings are, but the artwork is not.
yeah.
And I love the artwork because it is literally little mini pieces of art in my opinion.
Mhm.
And there's like plants, and in some cases you can see like the cups.
Yeah.
And well, this one also has cups. And then I don't know, I just really like it. Like some have like sword. Here's the two wands. And it brings in a lot of like a different multitude of facets to it. And I really like this is the knight. This is the knight of pentacles. And you see like the the plants and things, little
Mhm.
flowers. And
Mhm.
I really like that. And then some of them have crowns, like this is the Page of Cups. It has a crown within it.
Hmm.
So this is one that I would keep definitely for the artwork.
Yeah.
Um, if I was to do the
Decluttering thing.
decluttering thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to start decluttering, so I'm very much a, if I haven't been using it, I should probably, give it to someone who would find more life in it than I do.
Yeah. But I
But
would say with that, just to comment, that you should probably put it in a box for a while first before you do that, because I
oh yeah,
know a lot of people who I watch do the
yeah.
decluttering
And
thing
then
and then they
rebuy it.
regret it
Yes.
and they rebuy it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
The only decks that I probably would not declutter are like Kickstarters or decks that I probably would not be able to get again.
Yeah,
They
that
would
makes
be part
sense.
of a collection, but,
Yeah.
like I was mentioning with the Moonlight Oracle, I could rebuy this in a different version. It's more or less the same deck, so if I, like,
Mhm.
somewhere down the line decide I love it, I could rebuy it because it's indie, but wasn't Kickstarter, so
Okay, that's good at least.
but for me, I think I would keep, I would it's the Wandering Spirit deck. So,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
this deck is one that I find I tend not to reach for often, but
Mhm.
though every once in a while I get the urge to use it,
Mhm.
because the art is very, very niche. It has like this theme of the girl and the skeleton, and I feel like it's almost like a shadow work deck, but not quite. So it never quite fits into those categories seamlessly.
Okay.
So I feel like I tend not to reach for it often, but when I do use it, I enjoy it. So it's not like it's a bad deck. I just feel like I specifically keep this around because it doesn't get used very often, but I when I find moments for the artwork, then I find moments for it.
Yeah. And
So
this deck is out of print as well, no?
I believe so. I think she
Yeah.
might still have some left over, but I don't know if she's going to do another run of it.
Okay.
So, I'm not 100% sure, but I just like that weird sort of macabre style, but it's not all the way shadow worky, so it doesn't quite fall
Mhm.
into the list of decks that I would like to use for shadow work. I've
Yeah.
tried in the past and it just doesn't quite do it for me. I don't know. It's
Okay.
just it's just slightly off. Robin says this keeps popping up into her mind.
Yeah.
But
But
and
I swear I'm
also
like, "What in the world?"
also I actually know the artist, so that's another reason like this is kind of like a personal thing too as well where I could not ever get rid of it.
Oh,
So,
that
yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense. But also, why would you wanna get rid of it if it's out of print, right? Because remember,
exactly.
decks, especially indie ones that are out of print, the value for them goes up, right?
Yeah. I don't think even if I mean, I would have to be in a tough situation, and this
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have to be like $5,000, and I'm like, "All right, I gotta do it." You know? It would
Yeah.
have to be a lot of money and my situation pretty bad for me to wanna get rid of it if it was like an out of print deck.
True, true, true.
Versus like if this was out of print and it was like, "Oh, I'll give you a hot, $800 for this." I'm like, "All right." You know? It's just it's just a spot on the shelf. I'm cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Okay. I'm very curious about this one. What is a deck you bought because everyone else did?
Okay, I don't know. I have do I have a lot? I don't typically buy decks just because other people have them sometimes, but not always. Like it really depends
Mhm.
on the deck. But I know that the Mystic Mondays deck was something at the time when I bought this. I think I bought this in like 2020.
Mhm.
Very popular. I saw it around a lot and I decided to give it a chance. So that's why I bought it because I saw other people had it and I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
It is digital artwork
Oh, uh,
and it
not a fan.
is and it is like what do you call it? Yeah, it's like digital artwork. It's very abstract in my opinion. And I love it because her art style, this is her art style. Like she has a lot all her decks are like this and I absolutely love them. So obviously I have all her decks as well. I have her animal one, I have her crystal one, and I have our latest one, which is the astrology one, which I know you have as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I really like this skeleton deck. So yeah. So this is one that I bought because I saw a lot of people have it
I
and it
forgot another
was
deck. Let me look for
floating around.
Okay.
So yes. And it's very bright colored, which I like. I love it so much. Oh, yes, the Kim Crayons collection. Oh, love Kim Crayons.
So actually Luke kind of guessed mine. It's the Wild Unknown. So when I got into tarot, it was when the Wild Unknown got picked up mass market and everybody was just like losing their minds over it.
Yeah.
It was literally on everyone's decks I recommend for beginners video, blogs, everything.
Yeah.
And I got it and I was like, as I mentioned before, I was like, the hell is this? Like, this is so hard to use. I hate it. I really enjoy the card stock, but I would not have gotten it if it were not so popular. I like this deck now, but it's something I wish I had saved till later. It was not a very good second deck, honestly. I feel like it kind of like I feel like it kind of set me back a little bit because I was like so annoyed about it. That's why I got really heavy into Oracle decks.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead I was like, "Okay, I'm never gonna learn tarot at this rate."
That was actually my first tarot deck, and I didn't even look at any of those things. I just
Yeah.
found it on Amazon and really liked the artwork, and that's why
Mhm.
I bought it. So I didn't buy it actually because of anyone else. But yes, that was my first ever tarot deck. The first deck I ever brought into my collection that I thought was tarot was actually Oracle. Um,
Oh. Yeah,
Yes, but that was
a lot of
my
people.
technically second deck, second deck, but my first tarot. The first one was
Uh-huh.
Oracle. So
I mean,
yeah.
I like it now. It was a rough journey, but we got there. I just kind of wish people had been a little more honest about it because I'm very much a like I like to look through, and so I saw the flip throughs and everything, but being a new reader, it's hard to it's I feel like it's hard to grasp exactly what you're looking for, I guess. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but so I've relied very heavily on what people were suggesting at the time. But
Yeah.
luckily I had my rider weight, so I just I could just rely on that.
Yeah, but tarot too wasn't as popular, I think, back then when we first got into tarot. So
It wasn't, so you kinda had to rely on I mean, blogs kinda still were at the time, so I was reading a
yeah.
lot of blogs, and then the few
Okay.
videos that were out were like, "The Wild Unknown." It's like top 5 decks for beginners, Wild Unknown.
There's a lot of those, and Wild Unknown is on all of them, I think.
Yes,
Even
and I'm like,
even now, every time
"Why?"
you find
They're not
be
ugh,
because
I
the people who make these blogs are like magazines majority of the time, and they're
yes,
not I don't find that they're people who maybe know the tarot probably as well. I actually don't
yeah.
know who's writing these blogs, but
I think it still high key annoys me with all of the decks that are out now that people still recommend the Wild Unknown as, like, a
yeah,
first
there's so
deck.
many easier and more beginner friendly decks to recommend in my
Right.
opinion.
And they're always from, like, other readers, and I'm like, "You know you're setting them up for failure." That is not not I would say that out of the people that get the deck, like, as their first or second deck,
Mhm.
maybe 10% find it easy to use. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I have not, just anecdotally, I've not come across many people. You're probably one of the few that are like, "Oh, I enjoyed it right off the bat." Meanwhile, I'm a
Yeah.
rage quit and only just went into Oracle for, like, 6 months.
True, that's true.
Okay, what number 8. What is a baffling deck that's just over your head?
So I understood this question as like a deck that probably I kind of had a hard time with, but it has a learning curve. Like it has a learning curve, so
Yeah, I
you
kinda
kind
took
of
it similarly.
you kind of have to work to understand it. So I went with the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. This is the
Okay.
deluxe edition. The standard edition is coming out in November. So this is the deluxe edition that comes with the big book and the bag to put the cards in. Um, so this deck, the minors are fine. They're traditional. They just renamed them to be the elements instead of the wands,
Oh,
cups, and
okay.
things. It's just
I'm okay with that change.
elementally. Yeah, I actually love that change. I actually prefer it when it comes to the tarot, to be honest
Mm,
with you. I like
yeah,
because I like working with the elements, and
yeah.
the artwork makes sense because the artwork is very nature focused. The major arcana, however, is in a different way. So it's actually going backwards rather than going forward.
Oh,
So
I
you actually
remember
start
that.
with the world as the 0 and then go to the fool. And they
Oh.
did that through like a shamanic practice that they did through like different meditation processes and things like that to actually gain how they wanted to do the major arcana. So they did it through that kind of practice. And that's how it came to them. And that's how they did it.
Mhm.
So I really like the artwork. Just the major arcana just requires work.
Yeah.
And that's really it in my personal opinion. Um so yes, but I am excited for the standard edition to come out. I'm not sure because the this is a very large deck. So lugging this around is
Yeah,
and
it's
I actually really work
a
with
little
the guidebook
heavy.
for this deck. So I would prefer like a
Oh,
smaller book in my
yeah.
opinion. So I am excited for that. I think I should be receiving a review copy from Hay House in November for it. So
Okay.
but I love the artwork. It's all nature based, which
I
I
know that's your jam.
absolutely love. Yeah. And I don't really mind, to be honest, the change with the major arcana. You just need to really understand the where the creators are coming from
Yeah.
in terms of that process. So reading the guidebook is a really big thing if you want to work with this deck, in my opinion. But you can turn this into an oracle if you wanted to. Like,
Yeah.
I know some people don't really like the change with the major arcana and just use this as an oracle, or they just use the minor arcana.
Mhm.
Whatever you want. It's really up to you. It doesn't really matter. You could also just ignore the numbers and ignore the
Yeah, you could
titles and
make your own thing
just
with it.
ignore, yeah, and just reorder the major to be the regular
Yeah,
way you would have it, and
exactly.
just ignore the numbers, which is perfectly okay too. You can literally do whatever you want with your deck, right?
Yeah,
So
who's gonna stop you?
exactly, no one. So I do love this deck very much, and yeah, I'm really excited. Oh, look at this frog, so cute! The Ace of Water, Ace of Cups. I love it so much. I love the nature stuff, so
I
I
can
love this
tell.
deck for that for that reason. And what about you? What's yours?
So mine is actually an oracle deck. It's the Crystal Forest deck by Jess Purser.
Oh, yes, I know that one.
This was one of my early oracle buys, and I kind of got it. It was a Kickstarter. I got it with the intent of like mm, maybe wanting to learn more about crystals.
Mm,
So basically, this is going to be hard for you guys to read, but each like forest is a different kind of like gem. So this is copper. This is red jasper.
yeah,
This is tiger's eye. And while the
that's
artwork is beautiful, this is serpentine. I mean, gorgeous, smoky quartz. I just I don't know crystals well enough, and I realize I don't really care that I don't. So it makes it I tend to not like to have to sit and read the guidebook for oracle cards. I'd rather just kind of like use them. And the
mm,
problem with these are like there's not enough in them to just read intuitively, in my opinion, or maybe I'm just not good at it. Like if you look at this versus like or like these, there's not much going on in them. Wait, this way. So it's like even if I wanted to use them without the guidebook, I'd still struggle. So
is there keywords in the guidebook?
um they're not keywords either. So it's like paragraphs. So it's not
Okay.
like I can even flip to them and just, see something. I'd have to sit and read it, and I really
So
just don't want to do that.
I would say that a tip, I would give you a tip if you really want to learn this deck and work with it.
Yeah.
A tip I would have for you would be to have sticky notes. Go through each paragraph and choose one keyword for each card that you feel
Oh,
stands out from the paragraph.
yeah.
Write it on a sticky note and stick it to the card, and then work with the cards that way for a little bit with
Yeah.
the sticky note. And then once you get used to it, you can take off the sticky note. I would
Okay.
say if you wanted to do even something further, you could mod the deck and actually write that keyword onto the deck if you
Yeah.
wanted to, because I know people who mod decks and they'll put keywords
Yeah.
themselves on the deck. So you could do that as well if you wanted to.
Hmm.
That way you would never need to use
Yeah.
the book in that regard.
I could try that. That's a good idea. I
Yeah,
never really thought
it
about
would
that.
help to learn the deck, in my opinion. That's something I do sometimes too when there's no keywords on the
Yeah.
deck itself. I try to go through the guidebook and see if there's no keywords in the guidebook, then I try to like pick a word that's really stands out to me and really
Mhm.
resembles or what it feels like the card so is associated with, and then
Yeah.
work with it that way.
Oh, I like that. That's a good idea. See, I am getting some tips out of this already. Okay, number 9, what is a deck that surprised you?
Okay, so I went with I have so many decks here.
And what
I
did this prompt mean to you, I guess, too? I struggle
Okay,
with this one.
so I went with it meaning like a deck that was unexpected. So I had a certain expectation from it, and it kind of like surprised me because it went beyond it went differently than how I expected it to go
Okay.
in that regard. So I went with the queer tarot because
Oh, okay.
originally I didn't really I looked at the artwork on Amazon and I was like, nope. And because originally when it was about to come out, there was no photos. There was like no photos or like one photo. There was nothing on the cards. And I was really excited because I really wanted a queer tarot in my collection. I've been looking for one and I there's several on the market and I don't really
Yeah.
like most of them. I like there's the Pride Tarot, but that's a collaborative deck and I hate collaborative
Yeah.
decks
I
because
know.
the artwork it's not that I hate it,
Really
it's just I don't
inconsistent.
like there being so many different art styles. I'm
Yeah.
very picky when it comes to that specifically. And then they added artwork, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not into it. But the digital versions of the art on the Amazon made the lines look much thicker than they are in person for
Mhm.
some reason. I don't know. There was something, and it was just didn't look the same. So
Hmm.
my expectation of it was like, no. But then I saw an unboxing of this deck on Lumeria Stars. I don't know if she did an unboxing or she got the deck and she was just flipping through it and talking about it. I don't know. I don't remember. But on Lumeria Stars YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and I really loved it because it didn't look like it was different. And I was like, yeah, I should never trust digital artwork and just
Yeah.
go with always looking at unboxings so I
Flip-throughs.
can see
Yeah.
what they look like on the actual card, like the actual cardstock and things like that. So I really liked it. And I ended up requesting this from Running Press for a review. And I love it. I went through it. I love it so much. It looks amazing in my opinion. And it's so fun. They actually selected real people. So
Yeah.
every person in here is a real person. They actually tell you who they are in the
Oh.
guidebook.
Oh, I
So
love
they're all
that.
different models and friends and people that they knew.
Mhm.
Even some of the animals too are real animals that they include
Aw.
in the deck as well. So I really love that, and they include them at the end and everything like that. So I absolutely love this deck, and I just recently got an Oracle deck that pairs perfectly with this, so I'm so excited
Oh, so
to
now you love it even
use it.
more.
Yes, I love it because I love finding, like, good Oracle deck to pair with the tarot, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this. What about you?
So I actually had a hard time with this one.
Yeah.
I understood this prompt to be more surprised you in a good way, and I don't
Okay.
think very many decks did. They're usually exactly what I expect because I am of the type of person to like meticulously look through things. So
Mm.
it's usually Kickstarters that may or may not pleasantly surprise me.
Ah, yes.
But even then, it's usually more so disappointing than they meet my expectations or don't meet them. Like it's one or the
Okay.
other. So I just went with one that I decided I connected a little better with than I thought I would.
Okay.
And or I thought would just be average, but it was actually the Meraki Tarot. So
Oh,
I really,
yes.
really
Love
like
it.
this deck a lot more than I. It sounds like I didn't expect to like this deck, but I always expect to like the decks I get. But I actually enjoy the way that it's set up more, and realizing how it kind of includes the astrology, has like a little crystal association. So there's a lot of layers to this deck that I could continue to grow with in the
Yeah.
future. And if I do want to incorporate more astrology and stuff into tarot, if I ever get to that point, I can always use this. So it was something I was really pleasantly surprised about. The cardstock is also really pretty. Like the design on the back is gorgeous. They have these really like soft, muted, just comforting tones to it in
I
the
know, I love it so
I love
much.
the colors. This very much reminded me of Lightseers without being a solid duplicate of it.
Yeah, but this doesn't have it doesn't have people, no? This deck
No. So that's
no.
the only it feels very much like the animal version of Lightseers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Um,
love that for that reason,
and that's
honestly.
kind of why I got it. I was like, "Oh, I should introduce animal decks," and I kinda didn't expect it to be like a home run,
Mhm.
just a piece of my collection. But
Yeah.
the card stock is like butter. It feels so good. It has that, like, rose petal finish, but yeah, I guess that's rose petal, but and it just
Yeah.
feels so nice, but it's also not terribly sticky. I mean, it's a little sticky, but rose petal is always going to be, but just, like, the artwork is so gorgeous. It just has this really light feel, and I feel like I can use it for a lot of different things, and it's a good all-around deck, which I feel like I didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of at the time.
Yeah.
So,
They
pleasantly
have yeah, and they have some great Oracle decks too. And I think they have a Marseille deck as well. A tarot
Touchette
deck.
Designs does?
Yeah, they have a lot of decks actually. That's not their only deck.
Oh,
If you go to their Etsy or maybe their web, I don't know if they have a website, but on their Etsy, because that's what I have saved in my thing, they have
yeah.
several Oracle decks. They have a crystal one. They had another Oracle deck that I don't remember, and then they have a Marseille tarot. I think they have a fully illustrated tarot that's more traditional. Trying to remember. Let's go to my Etsy and see. Etsy. I don't know if their Oracle is still like their crystal one. Their crystal one, I was beautiful, so beautiful. I don't know if it's still in stock. I know I
Seems like a
have it
lot
in
of people
here.
in the chat are talking about destashing, a little decluttering.
I know I can see that. I'm like, can't relate. Yeah, no. Um, where is it? I don't know. Let me find it.
Yeah,
Type in
I've
chat.
let me
Here we
see
go.
how to spell it. Oh,
Yeah, here we go. I got it. Where are their decks? Divination. Yeah, here they have numerology cards. They have astrology cards. They have their Lenormand, which looks really nice. And then yeah, they don't
oh.
have their crystal deck anymore in stock, but they had a crystal deck that was gorgeous, and they had also a Marseille tarot.
I do
How
like their
much is
little
shipping on
Lenormand
this?
deck. Hmm,
Ugh, why is
interesting.
shipping so expensive? I would have loved to get their numerology deck, but the
I'm
shipping is
shocked
like,
it's so high considering they're in Washington.
yeah,
Oh my
I would
god,
have.
I just realized they released the workbook for their tarot and crystals. Like, that has not been in stock since, I think, the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, I might
It's a digital copy, right?
No. I don't think so.
Oh, I'm looking at a digital version of that.
Uh,
I don't see a.
oh yeah, no, cost to ship. Nope, this is the physical copy.
Oh, okay.
Might try to get my hands on it. We'll see. Now that it's available, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but is it expensive? 30, well,
$25?
that's not bad. How much is
Not
it to
bad.
ship it to you?
8 and change, $8 and change.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and
30
I
it's literally 35 Canadian and it's 32 to ship it.
ew. No.
So that's like 60, almost $70
Yeah,
between
that's
60 and $70.
crazy.
But they have a digital version, which is only $10.
Oh, that's good. I didn't realize they had a digital version. I
Yeah, they
might
have.
consider getting the Lenormand cards, although I feel like I'll just learn with the deck I already have and then go from there.
Yeah. I really would love to get their numerology and their astrology cards, but that
Mhm.
will be like 40,
It's a lot.
45 just to ship 2 decks that are $17 each.
Oh, you got the book, Robin? Oh, that's good to know.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it is called Bouchette Designs on Etsy. I'll paste the link into the chat.
yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
just don't think I will ever be into Marseille. Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
it's
I
just
love it.
not or Thoth. Um, number 10. What doesn't work, but you keep it because it's a collectible?
Oh, that would be my first deck. So I only have two oracles in my thing, and this
Mhm.
is one of them. It's the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck,
Oh,
and this is the first deck I ever brought into my collection. I bought this in 2014. 2014, yeah, the beginning of 2014. And at the time, Hay House was, and I bought this for $14. 14, yeah, $14. At the time, it retailed for 18.95 in Canada.
oh my God.
You know how much this deck retails for now? Like
How much?
$35 in Canada.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And at the time, Hay House in the beginning, when they were doing decks, they were adding gilding to their decks. They do not do that anymore. So their older decks have
Oh.
gilding and their newer decks do not. So this deck has gilding on it and I don't like it. So I prefer them not to have gilding. This deck has the main cards. Is it raining? Oh, hold on. Let me just close my window because it's starting to rain. Okay. This deck has like the 20 to 20, what is it? 21 major arcana cards. And then they have four
Mm,
suits, but the suits go from 1 to 9 and they don't have court cards.
okay.
And then they have random chakra cards. So we have
Yeah.
a bunch of chakra cards in here.
Mhm.
So this is the deck that I first learned tarot on because I thought it was tarot.
Aw.
So they all have different borders. So the black is the major arcana, and then blue I believe is this the swords? I think this is the swords. Let me see. I have it in my it's in the beginning here. Okay, minor, yeah, numbered 1 to 9. Um, yes. So the blue is the swords.
Yeah.
The green is the cups.
Oh, excuse me.
Um, the red is the pentacles, and then
Blue?
the purple.
Purple?
Purple is the wands.
That's weird.
Wands, yeah.
Weird weird color choices.
Yeah. So this is the deck that I learned on and I keep it because it's has sentimental value.
Yeah.
Obviously this version is now under out of print. The version that's on the market is not the same thing. I'm pretty sure it does not have gilding and it's obviously more expensive. So, yes.
I Okay, so I chose I don't now that I'm like looking it up, maybe I misunderstood. But I'm just gonna stick with it because maybe
Okay.
I don't know, we'll see. For mine actually is the Threads of Fate Shadow Edition. I thought it was out of print. I thought they had stopped doing it, but I still see it on their website. It's just listed
There's
as out of
there's
stock.
one I think there's one I think because they had many types, right? They had like
Yes.
different versions. I think they discontinued one of the versions or
And I
two of
thought
the
it was
versions.
this one, but
What version is that?
the Shadow Edition.
Oh, I don't remember which version they were discontinuing,
Me neither.
to be honest with you. But they made an announcement on their Instagram
Yeah, and
that
I thought
once
it
it
was
was done, it was done.
yeah, and I thought it was this one, but and it could just be that it's still listed as sold out on the website and it hasn't been removed yet.
Oh, maybe, I
Um,
don't know.
because I swear I remember people talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, thank God I got it when I got it." But
Yeah.
I almost never use this anymore. It is a little hard to use. It's gorgeous. It has that same rose petal finish I was talking about on the Marikai, and then it has that foiling there, and then the edges
Yeah.
are like
Rose
colored.
gold?
They're rose gold. They're not like gilded really. But the
Yeah.
images are really hard to use. So they're hard to see, first of all. Like you got to catch the light. And
Yeah, because of
then
the foiling.
yeah, for the foiling. And then you also there's layers in here. So like the photos, I'll see like let's see if I can find one. The images have more than one thing going on for them. Like let's look at this one. Is when you can kind of see, hold on, sorry. You can see the mountains, the boot, and then it looks like a
The
flower or something.
outlaw.
And they
Does it
kind of
say the outlaw on it?
yes.
Okay.
So it has like an overall meaning and then the different things in it, but they're not all like that. Like
Dolphins.
this one is really obvious, I feel like.
Yeah.
But then there's like this one and the hand kind of means one thing and then the wings mean another thing to
Ascension.
all come together to mean one big thing and I'm like this is too much.
That's kind of reminds me of the judgments. The
Yeah,
ascension card kind of reminds
it
me of judgment.
well, it kind of would if weren't for there's another card in here that reminds me more so of it. I'm not gonna find it, but um yeah, they're gorgeous. I'm gonna keep them because obviously I paid a lot for them, number one. And then two,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that this version can be bought anywhere else, so just definitely not getting rid of them. But I
True, true.
probably it will be a very I think this was my first or second Oracle deck that I actually recorded a flip through of as well.
Oh,
So it has
nice.
history on my channel. And it's funny that we both were talking about like gilding and stuff.
Mhm.
What is your favorite gilded deck? I kind of cheated on this one.
So I chose the gentle tarot
Okay.
because I'm actually not a fan of gilding,
Me neither.
really. And this one is matte gilding with shimmer.
I
So
like
it's
that we both
not
cheated.
With well, no, this is still gilding though. It's still edging and gilding go hand to hand in my
Yeah.
opinion. So I don't think it's cheating in my opinion. But this is like a matte. It's a matte, but it has shimmer in it.
Yes.
There's like glitter or whatever. So every time I use it, I have glitter on my hands.
Oh, okay. Mine does
But
not.
I like it because it's not rough and it hasn't chipped or anything. And I find like actual like metallic gilding not great majority of the time in my
No.
opinion.
And I actually pulled an example out. So I am a very rough shuffler. I don't intend to be, but apparently I am because I've seen some people keep their gilded decks in pristine condition.
Yeah.
So this is what ends up happening. Like you can see all of the chips and stuff. That would
Yeah.
have been when I got that, that was a mirror finish. So
Whoa.
that's like you would have seen the reflection of the camera in it. So that's what happens with like high gilded decks, which is why I prefer the same thing as you, the matte foiling or the matte
Yeah.
gilding.
Yeah,
Um,
gilding. Yeah, matte
this
gilding.
is the Wandering Spirit again. So, haha, it's back. Whoever was asking about that earlier. This has
Hey,
a
Robin.
light
It was
shine.
Robin.
There's no like there seems to be like sparkle when you look at it in person, but it doesn't pick up on camera. There's no like glitter. There's just like a bit of
Mhm.
sparkle to it.
Yeah.
But
But when you use it, you don't get like there's nothing on your
n-
hands after?
no,
Because me, I
no,
now have glitter on my
yeah.
hands.
And this, though I did admit I use this less often than I do other decks.
Yeah.
Um, even decks that are gilded that I've used the same amount of this are already chipped. I think I have a
Okay.
flip through where I talked about chipping one of the decks like during the flip through.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really like the I prefer matte or just colored edges,
Yeah.
even though colored edges can get a little rickety too. Like I'll show you in my Marikai is
Yeah,
a colored
just
edge,
regular
but
edging.
you can kind of see the you can see it a little better here. You can just see like the little white
Oh,
striations
yes.
going across.
Mhm.
So it depends how rough you are with your cards.
True.
Um, you know, I'm not one to care that things stay in pristine condition. I just don't like
Well, the
how
point is to
finicky
use it.
and exactly. I just don't like how much you have to baby for like gilded foiling, the high sheen foiling.
Yeah. And Robin, I don't find that the Gentle Tarot has I don't find the matte gilding on the Gentle Tarot to be scratchy in my opinion. And I do have decks that have scratchy gilding.
I don't think I've ever owned a deck with scratchy gilding
I
until
think
I
this I think the
until I make it
signs
scratchy.
I think the signs and Sky Mates is the only one that when you actually feel it, it feels rough. It hurts like the fingers.
Oh, hmm.
But
Maybe
yeah,
maybe the wandering spirit is a little like that then. It's not smooth to the touch. It feels like a
oh
raw
yeah.
edge that has been colored, I
Ooh,
guess.
that's not very nice then.
I guess I never noticed. It feels like a regular card, like like just like they haven't gone out of their way to make it a mirror finish, I guess.
Oh, okay, okay.
It doesn't feel bad. I just described it poorly. Okay, I'm really curious about this one. What's a deck you love but hate the card stock?
The Good Tarot.
Oof.
I do love this deck. Um, this is a deck also that it's based on the elements. So the suits are elemental based rather than wands, cups, whatever. They're based on
Okay.
their elements instead, which I really love. But this deck is high gloss,
Like the sticky high gloss?
very sticky high gloss,
Yeah.
and I can barely like it sticks like no tomorrow. It's not smooth gloss. And I love like don't get me wrong, I don't mind if a deck is glossy. I just want it to shuffle well.
Right. You
I
want it
just
to be
want it to be
usable.
yes, and I want it to be like
Like you don't want to
very
have to
nice and
work so hard.
smooth and I just lost the card. There we go. And I just want it to be like smooth and not like very they're all like you
Yeah.
can't like you can't even like
No,
move it because
I know
it's
exactly
so
what you mean.
rough. But I do love this deck. It has a bad rap because people think because of the name changes to be more positive that it's like toxic
Oh,
positivity, but it's not. Like I really love the guidebook and the way things are worded.
yeah.
I don't mind that the um titles for the major arcana were changed. For example, temperance is patience,
Oh, I don't
um
like that.
the lovers is love, um the devil is temptation instead. I actually don't mind it. I don't mind that at all. I think the name changes make sense in my opinion. Like temperance is technically patience. That's the key word for it in my
Yeah.
opinion. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Um but I really love the artwork. It's Jenna's artwork, which I love her artwork. Very digital collage in my
Mhm.
opinion. So
I'm not a fan
yes.
of that
Just
style.
just the what you call it,
The cardstock, the
the
high
cardstock is the only thing I don't like about
high
this
sticky
particular
gloss.
deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, sticky high gloss. Though they put out a deck recently with a gloss cardstock, the Secrets of Paradise, and that
Yeah.
has the same consistency as any gloss deck from Liminal 11, and I absolutely love that so much because it literally glides.
Mm.
You shuffle and it just glides. So I
Kind
prefer
of like,
that kind of cardstock.
is it similar to the gloss on, from Llewellyn?
No,
Oh, okay. Hmm.
no.
Because the
No.
only liminal 11 deck I have is my Citadel, and that's a matte with
Yeah.
foiling, so I'm not
No.
familiar with that.
Llewellyn has a thinner
Thinner cardstock.
thinner cardstock than Liminal 11. Liminal 11's cardstock is a little bit thicker than that.
Is the gloss similar though?
Well, they do glide. I don't know if it
Okay.
would be similar though, but they do shuffle well. Like
Okay.
the gloss is not sticky in my opinion.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Cool.
kind of prefer that. I prefer something that glides well.
So do I. I like to have like a nice ease of shuffling. And it's funny. So Robin said that she feels like the threads of fate have like the scratchy edges, and I was like, I
Mhm.
don't. I must have a different opinion of what scratchy edges mean. So,
Oh
um,
yeah.
if you think that the threads of fate is scratchy, it feels the same to me as the
Mhm.
wandering spirit. Just to give you an idea.
And to let you know, Robin, no, not like the Modern Witch. The Modern Witch, they actually Liminal 11 actually changed their cardstock after the Modern Witch. So their cardstock after that point is not as thick. So, Cosmic Slumber, the decks that they have glossy cardstock are the Cosmic Slumber, the White Newman, and the This Might Hurt Tarot. So those have the same consistency in terms of cardstock. They're still glossy, kind of like the Modern Witch, but the cardstock is thinner than the Modern Witch. The Modern Witch is way more thicker, more stiffer. The other ones are not as stiff, in my opinion.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you remember, you probably know that this will not be surprising. My
Mm.
cardstock that I don't even know what they were thinking is the Untamed Mystery. It really makes this deck unusable, but I keep it because I don't know that I know that they are selling the leftovers from the Kickstarter, but I don't know what's going to happen after that.
Yeah.
And it's such
I
a
s- I
niche
thought I saw them selling it on
Etsy.
am I saw them selling it on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I did see it on Amazon as well. I just don't know what their intentions are after, like, that goes away.
I
Because I
don't
know
know.
they do this is by the Wheel of Fortune Tarot. I think I know they turn over their stock, so I don't know if they ever bring things back because I know they put out a lot of different things. They've been on
Mhm.
Kickstarter for years, I think.
Okay.
But the images are cool. Like the whole premise of the deck is really interesting. It has this concept of eyes throughout the entire deck. But the
Eyes.
problem is they're plastic. It's so weird and they're so flimsy like the entire deck. Like look at that. That's just so they're not
Wow.
going to hold a bend, but it's
Yeah.
insane to me. So, like, even
Wow.
if you're overhanding, you have to be really, like, gentle because 'cause they're gonna wanna do this to you, like, the whole time.
Oh.
So the whole time, you're just, like, these really slippery cards, you're, like, really just hoping you're not gonna end up playing a game of 78 card pickup because I've done that on live stream, and then after one time, I was like, "I'm swapping out, tapping out."
Oh my god.
And it's frustrating because 'cause they're actually really cool, just really cool cards because they appear to have, like, this border, but the art goes throughout them,
Yeah.
and they're all animal based, and this was in my phase of trying to introduce animal-based decks into my collection, and I was like, "Ugh, I
I
have to
think I
really
think
do
I
it."
added this to my wish list on Amazon because
I
I saw
know
them selling it.
other people don't really care, it's just disappointing.
Let's see.
It's very
What color again do you have?
I think I got the Oron. There's 2 that look very similar,
This one. Pterodactyl.
and I got the one that's, like, with the gold foiling and the it looks like wine almost, borders. There's one that's wine and one that's, like, dark red, I think. I think this might be Oron.
This one.
I can't remember.
What's it called again? So I can search my.
The Untamed Mystery.
Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. What color did I add to my? I added the Earth deck.
Oh, okay. I don't remember all of the colors.
Yeah, Earth, blue, blue, silver, gold, the
Oh, wait.
Illusion, the Mirage, Noir something, Rose something.
Oh, yeah. They had like there's like four or five. So it definitely wasn't Rose. It wasn't Mirage. I'm pretty sure it was Aura. And so I was saying it wrong. It's Aurum.
Show me the box again.
Here you go.
Okay, I think that's this one. I think that's this one. So on Amazon, they call it the Illusion deck. It has like burgundy borders, right? Burgundy borders. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Disappointed.
So .net Gmind. This is not a readings live.
Yeah. All right. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. What deck gives you the willies?
Oh, so
You
I
actually
chose
own a deck that gives you the willies?
yeah. But I still use it and I still love it.
Okay.
If I had the Deviant Moon, that's the one that would give me the willies
That's
because
the one that I chose. I don't
but
own decks that give me the willies.
I don't own that deck, but the Hush Tarot is what
Uh
I chose
vaguely
because
remember this.
some of the artwork is literally of dead things.
Yeah.
Literally of dead things. And you don't need to be sorry.net. You're not even disturbing us. Join in the fun.
Yes.
We're talking about decks and things, so feel free to stay and listen. Trying to remember. Okay, this one, for example. This is the Three of Swords.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that yeah.
she is dead. And then but this deck is literally explores the concepts of death. So yes, but I love this deck so much. I do use it quite a bit, even though there's some weird stuff going on. The Ace of Wands, I think this is Ace of Wands. You can literally see this chick's eye. There's like an
Eh,
ant on her face.
yeah.
Very weird, but
Very macabre.
I love it. What's another one? Oh, this chick, her like she's missing a hand and part of an arm, and I don't even know like
Mhm.
her body is like all weird and cut up. There's like skulls and things in the stack.
Yeah, that was a good choice there.
Yeah, and then here we have a face that is literally in the grass, and then there's like a bug on
Coming
her.
out of yeah. Ugh.
But yes, oh, here's the death card with the vulture.
Okay.
So yes, I love this deck so much. I don't know if this is a mask. I think this is a mask,
I hope so.
but it's very creepy.
Yeah. That's why I hope so.
I'm trying to see if there's any other, but I love this deck I love this deck very much. It's very strange, very weird, very dark. Even though some people don't think it's that dark, to be honest, but I think for me personally, who doesn't own that many dark decks, I feel like
Yeah.
yeah, some of the cards do creep me out a bit, and but I do really love it and I use it a lot.
Yeah. I actually don't own the deck that mine is the Deviant Mood. I hate watching people use it. It's creepy. Not a fan of it. Yeah. I feel like I don't
Yeah.
think I would actually own anything that would actually give me the willies.
I've had the Deviant Moon on and off my wish list for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those decks that makes me feel uncomfortable, but I feel like I should get it and like work with it to see why it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't have that desire.
So, yeah.
Um, let's see. Whoops. Number 14. What is your favorite deck for shadow work?
So you mentioned it as your first deck, so I'm going to put it here because that's what I chose. This is my second Oracle deck.
Hmm.
Of course, it has to be the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle by Serafina and Kat. Like,
Yeah.
there's really no doubt about it, honestly.
I moved that one off of that spot into the very first question spot. So I
Yeah.
picked something else for that, but same.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was between this and the Wild Unknown Archetypes because I use that also for shadow
Yeah.
work, but I've been using this way more, so I decided to do this instead.
Hmm.
Let me have all the
Other cards
um
out of it.
yeah, spread cards. So yes,
Yeah.
I love this deck so much.
Ugh,
And
I love
as you
that
said,
card.
it has a good balance between light and dark, which
And then a
is the
lot of like,
point.
yeah, middle of the
It's
road kind
Yeah, which is the point when it comes to shadow work. You need to have that balance.
of. Hmm.
So I really love this very much. I am excited for the tarot and
Oh,
whatever else that
stupidly
she
excited.
does
Yes.
for next year.
When we get it,
And
we'll have
yeah,
to do another like double flip through, double unboxing or whatever.
yeah, I'm gonna have to see how much it is though, because
Oh, that's fair.
remember, Canada is just so much more
That's
expensive than
fair. Yeah.
US. So it might end up being probably $100.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, and I have to see. It's still next year. She said I think is summer. She started showing some artwork and things, so we'll see
Yeah.
how
So I
things
think we have
go.
about a solid year.
Yeah, exactly. 1 year until they do the Kickstarter, until she does the Kickstarter. So we'll see by then if I
Yeah.
can.
Luke, that's a
Um,
good point. I feel like, in my opinion, the Earth, Moon, and Shadow is more like a gentle honesty. It's more like, okay, reflecting back on oneself, that, or at least when
yeah,
I use it.
yeah,
Whereas I feel like my wild unknown is like brutal honesty. Like, you need to get
hundred
your shit
percent,
together.
a hundred
Yeah.
percent, 100%. When it
It's
comes to the wild unknown,
yeah,
it's a slap in the face,
always.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I
When it
mean,
comes to the wild unknown, I'm fine with that
I like I
particular.
said, I've gotten used to it, so I know when to use it for things and when not to, but I feel like,
Yeah.
shadow work in general can be really, really tough, and if you're actively working towards things, you kinda don't always need a slap in the face, you just kinda need a
Yeah.
gentle hand
Yeah.
easing you in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Also,
because Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I was looking at the comments and Luke also said like for the last question about the willies,
Oh,
he was
I
saying
missed
like
that.
the haunted house tarot or the dark mirror oracle. Yeah, the dark mirror oracle, I don't know. Like I don't own that, and some of the artwork is a bit like, whoa. I do like the moon phase aspect of that deck, but that's really about it in my opinion. And the haunted house tarot doesn't really interest me.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I would. Look, quickly glancing at it, I don't think it gives me the willies. It's just not my genre of art.
Which
Not
one?
my
The
the
haunted
dark
house
the
or
dark mirror
dark
oracle.
mirror? Hmm.
Um, I would have to look more into the haunted house one, but
Yeah.
just glancing at
Um,
the art and probably like, eh.
Midnight, was it Midnight? Moonlight. Damn, what's her YouTube name? Moonlight something. She has an unboxing
Yeah.
of the
I'll have
haunted
to
house.
check it out just for funsies. I probably wouldn't get it.
It's a good Halloween deck in my opinion.
Oh, I could see that. So for mine, since I moved Earth, Moon, and Shadow out of this position, I went
Mhm.
with one of my newer Oracle decks. I actually comboed it, so it's two. It's my Dream and
Oh, yes.
Incarnations deck and my Spirit and Shadows deck combined together. So the blue ones are the Dreams and Incarnations, and the red are the Shadow and
Mm.
or Spirit and Shadow. But I like it because it has this like all of them are really dark, so but I don't think that they are as hard hitting as Wild Unknown somehow. So it has a very dark feel to it,
Yeah.
um, but really thoughtful kind of cards as well. I just like how I don't know. I just like it. I have a really nice connection with it,
I like
and
it too.
I feel like it's really easy to use. It's just not
Mhm.
good. I tried it once on my live as like for the community read, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good."
Yeah, I was there, but I loved it.
Yeah, I figured you would, but I was like, "Oh, this is
Maybe other
probably a
people might not like it.
little harder hitting to start off the night than most people will want." I mean, like, look at that. Come on.
Mm, I know.
So,
Did you pull that card in the
huh,
live?
I
Grief?
it was I think I pulled grief and like something else. It was either grief or like the death card or something.
I don't
It
know,
was
but you pulled
something
that
very
card twice, I think, for the
yes,
community read and then someone else's reading.
and I was like, "Oh no." and and it's one of those decks that I think would be good if I was like using it for clients that were looking for that kind of thing. But it's
Yeah.
like for my live streams, kind of like read the room kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh god, oh gosh." And then of course, I don't know what I was thinking. I paired it with the Wild
Mm.
Unknown, so a lot of the readings I was like, "I'm so sorry."
I know you kept apologizing.
I was like, "Oof."
It's so funny. I really liked it though. I thought it was an interesting night.
It was, and I really I think I pulled out the Wild Unknown because I wanted to see how they'd pair together. I think they
Mm,
pair well, just not for
me
that.
too. Not for that particular
Yes.
purpose.
Oh, the
I
Hush Tarot,
hide from the
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Immediate
I like
News.
I like it though. Like even if some of the cards give me the creeps, I love it though. I use it often. I used it I think not too long ago for a lunar return reading for myself
Oh,
and I
really?
paired it with the Magic and Mediums Oracle, which is by Niall Reed. She sent me the deck for review and I love them together. They look amazing together. So, yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
And you
Next.
shouldn't hide from shadow work. Shadow work will always find you.
Yes, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
I do it inconsistently, but I try
me
to
too.
just it's like I do use it more as like a check-in with myself, like where do I need to
Mhm.
refocus? I don't do like hardcore shadow work. I realize that I
Yeah.
don't have the diligence to do that. I'm just
Mhm.
not gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
the same a lot of the time.
So number 15, what is a deck that you love in theory but not in practice? I think mine
So
might upset people, but we'll see.
so I chose the horror tarot.
Oh, okay.
So I do love this deck very much. I love the concept of it. I love the artist. Abigail Larson is
Yeah.
the artist for this particular deck, and I love her Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't have her other deck, which is the Darkwood Tarot. That one doesn't really interest me, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
But I was really excited. I do like Gothic literature. I do like horror literature if you think about like the classics and things like Dracula for example and Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I do have actually those books and I took a gothic literature class back in college for
Oh,
English
that's
because
cool.
it was a themed English class
Yeah.
and we read we read Dracula is our main book, and then we read a bunch of Gothic literature, mostly from Edgar Allan Poe and things like that. And
Yeah.
I love that aspect. So I do love this.
So in theory, you should really, really love it, but
Yes, but when I got it, I was very disappointed with the guidebook.
oh,
So the guidebook, now don't get me wrong, the guidebook is great if you're a beginner
mm,
because the meanings are traditional, right?
mhm,
The meanings are traditional. But which is great. If you're a beginner beginning tarot and you really want to begin with this deck instead of like a traditional deck, the guidebook is going to be fantastic for you.
yeah,
But I'm not a beginner, right? And I was looking for a deck to have meanings or connections with the artwork itself because some
yeah.
of the artwork is not traditional. You do a
So more
theme
so
deck.
pulling in the story and less
Exactly.
relying on just the meanings of the cards.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I feel like if you're going to do a theme deck, you should bring the theme throughout, not just the imagery. The theme should also be in the guidebook as well. Now, the
yeah,
major arcana does talk about us does bring in some of the artwork into
a little bit. Okay.
the actual meaning, but the minors don't really do that much, to
So
be
it's like they
honest with
put
you.
all the effort into the majors and just drop the ball for the minors?
Yeah, kind of.
Huh, it's
Kind of.
disappointing, for sure.
And yeah, so that was disappointing. Also, they don't name the characters in the court cards. So I was playing a lot of guessing games with some of them. I was
Okay.
like, okay, is this a Yeti? Is this the abominable snowman? Is this I'm guessing this is a witch because there's a broom, and then I'm like, who's this? Is this
Oh,
Hannibal? Like, you know what I
it makes
mean?
it
Like,
hard to relate to.
yes, and not that I don't know every single
Right.
Gothic literature the horror novel out there, right? So for me, some of these I was like, who's this? What's going on? Like for example, the Page of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see that, but the Page of Pentacles is like this person crying. It looks like they're like crying on their bed, and there's a bunch of little gremlin things underneath the bed. And I was like, is this supposed to be gremlins? Like what is this? I don't
Right.
know what this is supposed to be honest. And then the information card in particular actually says you're not scared of what's under the bed, which kind of ties into the artwork, but some of them didn't tie into the artwork.
Okay.
Some of them I didn't get were the ones that didn't tie into the artwork, and that was a lot of the pentacles. So
Oh, that's disappointing. It's my
the
favorite suit.
yeah, the 8 of Pentacles, for example, is literally a tree with a bunch of, bleeding carved pentacles in it, and most of the information that's talking about here is about studying and working hard and, student life and crafting and learning the craft and things like that, which has nothing to do with the imagery.
No,
What does that
not
have
at
to do with
all.
the bleeding tree? I wanna know about the
Right.
bleeding tree, you know?
Right. Like, maybe if it has something to do with the backstory, like, tell me.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, that was the only thing about this deck. The imagery is I love the imagery, but the guidebook was the disappointment. So, yes, in
Yeah.
theory, this would have been a fantastic deck, but the guidebook for me personally was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah. So for me, actually, it's the Moonology deck. So um this was not my first moon deck, but it was really popular and I would see people use it. It wasn't one I got because everybody had it. It was just something that I really enjoyed watching people use.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, I would probably also like this. I love moon themed stuff and space themed things, but
Hmm.
um I tried to get so I tend to not to give oracle only readings. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't, depending on the
Yeah.
oracle. But
Yeah.
I found that this was not good for like it didn't work for me for anything. Like even just in tandem with tarot and on its own, definitely not. But it's
Mm.
I I like it. I like the setup of it. I don't know why there are reversals in here, but oh my god, everything. But I mean, it's set up somewhat similarly to my other moon deck, but something about this one just didn't click. It just
Mm.
And I know that it's super popular. I get the gist of it. It's just,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know because it's set up in a lot of similar ways to other decks that I have.
Mhm.
I don't mind the Hay House card stock, that kind of thing. So kind of
Yeah.
has on paper has everything checked off, but it in practice did not work. It was just there was some weird disconnect, and I've never really been able to get around it.
Yeah.
I'll pull it out every once in a while for like live streams, or I'll use like one or two cards for like my pick a cards.
Mhm.
But I almost never use this for myself, and it's almost never the first moon deck that I reach for. Instead, I
Yeah.
prefer the Spirit Della Loon deck. I
Ooh,
really
okay.
like how that's set up. It's set up very similarly with the moon phases. I think this was the first oracle that I
Is
flipped.
that a deck that you get on Etsy?
I think so. I think it's either Etsy or they have their own website, but it's indie.
Spirit Del La
Um,
Lune.
they I think they have a website
Oh, that's
that
sad.
might link
Oh,
to
here.
Etsy. Okay, it links to Etsy. It is a little
Oh
pricey. It's
my god.
$53.
It's like 80 or $75
Yeah,
Canadian.
so sorry.
That's
Shipping is free to
sad.
me.
Shipping is not free to me.
Okay,
Or
so
is
sorry.
it? Is it free?
Sorry
No,
again.
it's not. An additional $30 for shipping. So that brings this deck to 110,
Ugh, but I love it so much. I mean,
115.
I think the downfall for Moonology is that it really had to live off of the heels of my Spirit Della Lune deck,
I do like
and
this. I'm gonna add this to my wish list actually.
honestly, it's set up really nice, and as someone who does not do well with astrology at all, I still find it relatable, I can connect to it. I think the keywords just mesh with me for some reason, and they're also very pretty. I think the Spirit Della Lune deck is one of my evergreen videos that always gets a lot of views too. People
Mm.
really enjoyed that flip through for some reason.
I would assume because there's probably not many flip throughs on it.
Oh, that's probably it. I
So
didn't
then
really
they
think that
find they
through.
find the one flip through and then they constantly watch the one flip through. That's usually what happens, in my
Yeah,
opinion. But in regards to the Monology, like the OG Monology, I have both Monology decks. I don't use the OG as much because I prefer to work with specifically the new moon, the full moon, the last quarter, and the first quarter. So
yeah,
I prefer the Moonology manifestation, but I don't
yeah,
use these decks specifically as an like, I don't use them as an oracle, I use them specifically for moon work. So I
yeah,
only pull the card that's associated with the moon,
yeah,
not as a oracle. So that's why I find those work well for me in that
yeah.
way. Um, so yes. Also, Kenzie, we're not doing live readings. This is a tarot tag. But
Um,
feel free to
hang out.
hang out with us.
Yeah.
Also, hi Sandy. By the way, let me say hi before we hi.
Yeah, I think for me, I would almost always just gravitate towards pulling out the moon phases from the Spirit Della Lune.
That
So
looks
it's
it looks really
it's
nice from what I can see.
gorgeous.
I'm gonna have to probably rewatch your
And I love how it's set
flip
up.
through.
It's set up it I like when things have a similar structure, not structure, similar breakdown to tarot where
Mhm.
you kind of have this concept of like the major, more impactful cards, and then you have these sub suits underneath that are influential in different kind of ways.
Yeah.
So, I think I really like the breakdown of that deck, and
How many cards are in this deck?
55.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Wait, is it 55?
I
Hold
don't
on,
know.
I don't
I'm
wanna
trying
make
to look, but I don't see. Let me
56.
read. Yeah, 56.
Yeah,
Including full moon Dallas, zodiac moon Dallas, moon phase cards.
yeah. So it's
Interesting.
like the zodiacs are almost like the courts of their respective suits, and
Ooh,
then
okay.
the phases are broken down into different suits. and then you can even mix and match them. I think I talk about this in my flip through. It's
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna
a
have to
whole thing.
rewatch it. I think
It's
it's been a
really
while.
it's I really like how it's set up. I like the structure of it. There's like meaning to it for me, so it makes it make sense. All right. Number 16. What is a deck you would never use for someone else?
Yeah, I don't know because I'm pretty sure I've used almost every single tarot deck except for like the newer ones on someone else. So
Yeah. And for
that's
them, it
literally
doesn't
what I wrote.
matter.
I'm like, literally wrote, pretty sure I've used all of them at some point. So I don't, I have no answer.
That's fine. For me, it's actually my classic Rider Waite. This deck is for me and for me alone. I will
Okay.
show it off to people as I'm doing now, but it is
Hmm.
not for giving readings. I
Okay.
did when it was my only deck, and when I say only deck, I had the Wild Unknown, but we know how that went.
Yeah.
But I did that because I had no choice and needed to
Hmm.
practice with people. So
Yeah.
once I got a deck, like the third or fourth deck, that
Hmm.
this was no longer meant for other people.
Okay.
Um, uh, Part of it is this is the deck that I learned on. Sometimes I go back and just go through it just for myself, just almost like a reset.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get in the habit of using it too much because it will no longer be a reset. I don't have that one deck where I can just go back and, start from the foundations and just, I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I just do that with stuff.
Hmm.
It's kind of like rewatching a show again, that kind of thing, where you see something new in it and then you can take
Yeah.
it to other decks. So I don't
Okay.
like to use this. Oh, and Luna's here, which means we are getting to the end of our live stream. She always comes in the last like 30 minutes. But yeah, so for me it's my classic Rider Waite.
Okay.
Um 17 was weird, but what is a deck you would never use for yourself?
So I literally put question marks, but then when I was having trouble thinking about number two, I was like, I realized that I would never probably use a sexy time deck for myself.
That's a good one.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't really, I'm not really into those kind of decks, especially not the low Scarabeo ones. Those are they're a little too much. They're a little too
Yeah. Um,
Have you seen those? They're like really,
I don't
really too
think I
much.
have.
You should watch the video. I don't know if you subscribe to Tarot Oracle, but he
Yes.
has he has an unboxing of, I'm pretty sure it's an 18 plus unboxing of the Sexual Magic tarot, and it's so funny. Like I watched it just for his commentary
His
because I
commentary
knew.
is funny on a normal day, so I can only imagine.
Yes, and it was hilarious. Like a friend of his sent him that deck as a gift. And it was just hilarious. But other than that, I don't mind like looking at like the flip throughs and things, but other
Yeah.
than that, I would never own or use them for
Yeah.
myself cuz no use for that in my
I
collection.
so I had a hard time with this because I'm very picky. There's a lot of things that I would never use. There are a lot of things I would never buy. There are things I've gotten for free that I'm like, I'm not gonna use this. So I had to like just think of a general category. I couldn't think of any like one deck, but I don't think I can ever get down with like the really star seedy decks. I despise them. Like, it's visceral.
I have the Starseed Oracle from Rebecca
I
Campbell.
and I think part of why I despise them is because they were really, really popular when I was getting into buying my first few decks of both tarot and oracle. And I was like,
Mm.
these are garbage. Why do people like them? It was so frustrating because they too were on like beginner oracle decks that, like,
Yeah, I don't know why Rebecca Campbell's decks are on beginner Oracle deck
I don't know
lists. I
either.
never recommend them ever for beginners. I even tell people like that are beginners and they say, "Oh, I really want to get this deck." And I'm like, "Listen, That deck is not beginner friendly. If you want to get it as your first Oracle deck, do note that you will need to put in a
Uh,
lot of work to understand the deck because the deck is very complicated. It's not an easy thing. And I actually got the Work Your Light as my second Oracle deck.
ugh.
And I loved it and I put in the work to understand it and work through it. So it was fine. Like for me it was fine. Um but yes, and I eventually got her Starseed and she has a new deck coming out at the end of June, which I'm
They're
so excited
just
about.
so star seedy. I hate the concept of star seeds. I hate the decks. I'm
Yeah.
not. Ugh.
Well, her upcoming deck and her last deck, which was the Rose Oracle, they're not that star seedy in my
They're not.
opinion. The Rose Oracle is more like Mother Mary kind
Yeah.
of rendition in my opinion. It's really about Mother Rose and like that concept,
Yeah.
femininity, stuff
I
like
also
that.
did not like that.
But I got it because I love the art style, but I didn't even use it until this year.
Oh,
And when I
wow.
used it this year, so I didn't use it for like I got it last year in the summer and I didn't use it, let's say 6 months, maybe 6, 7 months. And then this year I started using it and I love it. I love it so
Mhm.
much. Sometimes you need time to like get used to something. And for me, sometimes that's how I work.
I
So
mean,
I do
I
like that.
know after the wild unknown, I know, but there's some that I'm like, I will
Yeah.
never like this.
So I'm really excited for her Healing Waves. Healing Waves Oracle is coming out June 27th.
Yeah, I just can't get down with most of her collection. I just think that we do not have the same vibe. We don't have the same
Yeah.
just we're too different. Too different.
That's
So,
okay. That's okay. And yes, those decks are scandalous.
yes, they
Flat out,
are
they're
very.
scandalous.
Okay. I'm very curious about this one. After everything we've talked about, I'm even more curious. Number
Yeah.
18, what deck could you not buy your bring yourself to buy?
Okay, so like there's so many decks that I could literally not bring myself to buy, but I thought about this year specifically. So in I actually had a pre-order that was supposed to be releasing in March. It was the Tarot of Owls. And
Mhm.
they actually the way I interpreted this was it's not something that I won't buy eventually or bring into my collection or whatever that might be, but I actually ended up canceling my pre-order. I'm sorry,
Oh,
get
wow.
out.
Uh,
Sorry, your comment.
sorry.
Yeah, so the
I'm very much kidding too. Just so you know.
Tarot of Owls, I actually pre-ordered it, and I pre-ordered it at a good price too because Llewellyn decks are actually very expensive in Canada, and I pre-ordered it at
Oh,
like 31, $32. But they ended up moving up the date of that deck, and it was actually going to release in January, and I was like, "Oh my god, what?" And I wasn't expecting that, and I wasn't expecting like
the
the
price
intake of I wasn't expecting the
to have to pay
the
for it so soon.
expense
Yeah.
the expense of that pre-order right away, so I ended up canceling it, and I ended up deciding right now I don't really need that deck, so that's
Okay.
really how I interpreted that particular but there's so many decks there's, like, millions of decks, I
I
don't know
know.
how to choose one
I
specific.
know. I'm like
So
I couldn't think of it. I mean, I feel like there were so many. I mean, I literally just had a whole spiel about how I hate the entire Starseed collection. So, so I took this to mean something that would fit well into my collection and
Yeah,
something that I'd probably enjoy using, but just can't bring myself to buy it for whatever reason. So for me, I
yeah.
went with the Modern Witch, which I
Oh, yeah.
actually think that like it would fit really well in my collection, but it
Mhm.
probably fit too well where I could literally use anything else. It's
Yeah,
too much of a clone, and how many clones do I really need? That kind of thing.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
between light seers, between my Philly tarot, between I mean, I have a few others that my black femme tarot. I really
Mhm.
the modern witch is kind of encompassed in a lot of those things, and I don't
Yeah.
need it. So,
Yeah.
as much as I enjoy watching people use it, I think it's a really cool concept.
Mhm.
This Might Hurt actually falls into this category too, where I
Yes.
actually really like the artwork of This Might Hurt.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just so similar, so
So
similar.
I have both the Modern Witch and This Might Hurt because I just
Yeah.
got I just got it not too long ago. Um, if I had to pick between the 2 of them, I would go with This Might Hurt
I would
Tarot.
too. Like, if someone
Yeah.
put a gun in my head and said, "You gotta pick one of these 2 decks," I would easily go with This Might Hurt. I
Yeah.
like the art way better, and I think
Me
the
too.
art is probably more unique in the sense of my collection,
Yeah.
whereas, Modern Witch looks very much like my it reminds me a lot of my Black Femme Tarot. It's just
Yeah.
the subjects are different, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, This Might Hurt, I love that deck so much.
Yeah.
I filmed my, flip through of it so I can start using it. That I don't know when
Yay.
that will be up, but I filmed it so I can start using it, and I love it so much. I love it
I
so much.
like how we're very similar. Like, I won't use a deck until I do my flip through. It's like part of my opening ritual, I guess.
Yeah.
My
Well,
bonding ritual.
some I might, like, there's a few that I have, but, I wanted to because it's a newer deck, I wanted to film it. It'll be up at some point, who knows when, but at least it's done and I can use it. I can, like,
Yes.
so I don't have to put it back in order. That's what I don't like is having to put it back in order for the
Yeah,
flip through.
that's why I don't do it. And I'm like, "Oh," I like to be surprised with everybody,
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah.
like, my authentic reaction on camera.
Yeah, true.
Um, so, yeah, I usually just wait. I remember I got one, and it was like I was, like, really busy, and I was like, "Oh, I wanna open this so bad." But I waited, I was good. Um, okay, number 19. What is your favorite pip deck?
So I have a few pip decks in my collection because I don't mind them much. I actually really like them. But I chose the Antique Anatomy Tarot.
Ooh, I'm not surprised you chose that one.
Antique Anatomy.
Yeah, I love
This
that box,
one
it's so gorgeous.
by Claire Goodchild. The box style is the same as the Cats Rule the Earth because they're the same publisher.
Oh,
Yeah, so the book is done the same way and things like that.
mhm. Oh, okay. So
Way
that's
it's
familiar.
done.
That's good.
So this is very we have like the numerology. There's astrology and tarot in the book. There's like
Mhm.
numerology. There's the colors also. They have the elements as well, colors, and then where's the numbers? Here's the numerology as well in the book. So I do love that very much. And I do love Claire Goodchild. I wish I could afford her Oracle decks, which are indie, because it
Oh,
would be great to have
they would
her
pair so
Oracle
well
deck to
together. Yeah.
go with the deck, but that's okay. It's fine.
One
So
day.
yeah, one day. She's Canadian, but the price is pretty high. It ships from
Mm.
Canada, I think. I think it ships from Vancouver or Toronto or something like that, Ontario
Yeah.
or BC or something like that. But yeah, this is a pip deck in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very pippish. It's
Oh,
like
absolutely.
um anatomy and like medical things, like old school, very vintage medical tools and things like that. And I haven't used this deck in a while, but if I'm going to pick up a pip deck, it's usually this one that I reach for because I
Mhm.
really like it. We have the strength card here. This is the eight of cups. Eight of cups here with the elixirs. This is the king of cups. So, yes, I really love this pip deck. And when it comes to pip decks, I prefer to read numerology, like based on the numbers, like based on numerology,
Yeah.
rather than any other particular way, in my opinion. So,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay. Is the wild unknown animal spirit a pip deck?
No, that's an oracle deck. You can't have pips in oracle, my friend. Yeah, a pip deck could be a playing card or Marseille, for example, or something where the minors are not illustrated. So an Oracle deck can't be a pip deck.
Right. It can be minimalist, but it can't be Pip.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So for me, I actually didn't have an answer for that because I don't like Pip decks, so I don't have a favorite.
Do you even have any in
I
you don't have
guess
any, no?
the closest would it's Pipish sometimes is the Wild Unknown. It's probably the closest I have. But I don't have true Pip decks now.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, it's okay, Luke.
I I bookers. Okay. Number 20. Ugh. Okay, this one's gonna be obvious. What deck slaps you with the truth?
You wanna know what I picked? Do you wanna guess what I picked?
Is it the Wild Unknown?
Of course.
So we're 2 for
I
2.
can
We picked 2 of the same.
I cannot literally cannot do a tag and not include this at some point in the
Yeah.
tag. I'm sorry, but I can't do it.
I
So,
think in
yes.
one tag, it was literally so bad that it ended up being, like, Wild Unknown versus everyone else, and, I mean, this is the only one that I let myself pick twice, I think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Wild Unknown, I have the full size, I have the pocket edition. This is, the
Yeah.
kind of deck that is going to tell you 100% the honest truth, in my opinion, especially for me when I read it. If I use it for shadow work, I expect to be called out, which I
Yeah.
love and prefer. I
Right.
actually like decks to call me out of my shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that,
Yeah, I
and
actually
I'm
had a
okay with that.
client who, like, would prefer to use it. I remember once she was asking about something that was really hard hitting, and I was like, "Oh, do you want a more, just one that's a little more gentle, but will give you the right answer?" She was like, "No, I want the cold hard truth. I want the wild unknown." I was like, "Okay." And I'm flipping through it, I'm like, "I'm so sorry." She's like, "No, I need to hear this." Like,
The
"Thank."
cold heart.
I
I
was like,
love
"Oh my
it. I
god."
love it. Oh my god, that's so
Ugh.
great. I love it so much, and I love this deck so much. It's definitely going to be one of
Mhm.
my all-time favorites for like the rest of my life, pretty much because I love it so much.
I have really come to love the Wild Unknown. Actually, the
Yeah.
Wild Unknown is the reason that I associate the High Priestess with myself, because when
Mm,
I started doing readings for myself, I would get that card a lot in reference to things that were
yeah.
either
They just passed that. I
things.
agree.
Yeah, you did. That's what made me think of it. I would get that a lot for things that I would have to take control of, or, like, things that were affecting me very heavily. So yeah,
High Priestess.
I love it, and it's one of my favorite High Priestess cards because of that.
Yeah, the Gothic Tarot is Pip. But that's because the Gothic Tarot deck, the art is curated. It's not made for tarot, so they had to make the pips uh they had to make the minor arcana pip because the artwork wasn't made for the tarot, so yes. So yeah, I love this deck.
Yeah, I love that we kinda had an early one, which was similar, and had a later one that was similar
Yeah, we had the Light Seers. We both talked about the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, and then of course
separately, yeah.
Wild Unknown.
Yes, you
Wild
love
Unknown.
your emojis.
I know.
Oh.
So many emojis.
So, I wish I had a cat cam, like, that I could switch to, because I anytime I do unboxings and it's a big enough box, I'll rotate the boxes and leave them out, and Luna will lay in them, and she's laying in this Citadel box that I got, and it's so cute. It's just
I
so
love
adorable.
love it.
Okay, this is our last one, guys.
Last question, number 21.
This is the deck that got away. So, Sil, what is the deck that got away?
Oh my god. It's the Majestic Earth Tarot. So I actually ordered. So this deck is out of print, and there were at some points where the creator would post very sporadically some damaged copies
Mhm.
for to buy. This is an indie deck, and it's now out of print. And I ordered it, and I spent. It was 27 USD. Shipping was 40 USD to Canada. I spent a total of 87 Canadian on this deck. I never got it. Yeah.
Oh
So there was a
no.
lot of issues for some, and the issues were with USPS. So for some reason, I don't know what the hell's wrong with USPS, but
Everything.
they but they recycled tracking numbers from a previous order that the creator did with them or something, and that
Oh.
confused the hell out of Canada Post. And then the deck ended up going back to the creator, and I was going back and forth with the creator to try to get my deck and to see if she can like work things out with Canada Post and whatever the hell, because they were confused with the information on the box wasn't matching the information associated with the tracking number. Apparently the tracking number information was someone in Ontario, but that was a deck that was sent like years before or whatever. I don't know what the hell a USPS did, but I was so pissed. And yeah, I never ended up getting it. It went back to the
Oh.
creator, and I wasn't going to pay another $40 USD to have them reship it to me. So I had to put in a claim with PayPal to get my money back, because they didn't want to give me the cost of shipping back, and the cost of shipping was way more than the deck, and I never ended up getting the deck. So I ended up
Oh.
getting my money back, but I was really sad because it was the only deck, literally the only deck I have ever had FOMO for ever. It was that one.
Really?
Yes. That was the only one. And if you look it up, you'll understand why. It's literally me as a deck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
That's
I'm really sad about it, but and this is also the reason why I don't really buy indie decks, because
oh.
of that issue. It just put the whole
Yeah,
thing on them.
was that a Kickstarter?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't get it as a Kickstarter.
Okay. Okay.
I got a damaged copy off of the creator's website.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Luke, the Wandering Spirit's still available.
Okay. Yeah.
At least it looks like it.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was the deck that got away from me.
So
Yeah.
for me, um, it's actually I wish I had been in tarot like earlier to catch this is the indie version of the Light Tears Tarot. I really like the
Oh.
box. I really like the different 10 of swords. I wish
So
I
you
had gotten in on that.
so you like the original 10 of swords?
No, there was a wait. Yeah, yes and no. I like it, but I understand the controversy. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
understand the
so
controversy too. Yeah, someone I in this group that I'm part of, they know they know that they really wanted the other 10 of swords. They really wanted it, and they paid I think 200 or 300 for the out of print deck,
oh wow.
because it's out of print, right? The original indie version. So you're going to be paying uh out of print prices for it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it literally goes for way longer, way
Um,
more actually than $200 $400,
yeah,
but
it's a lot. It's something it's obscene
yeah.
for just like small differences. I just thought like I like the box. I know the card stock's a little different.
Yeah.
I just wish I had gotten in on that. it was one of the reasons why it took me so long to actually purchase the light seers. I was like
Yeah.
super butthurt about it. Like, oh, I wasn't into tarot enough, like to understand how like the Kickstarters and stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
so that's my one that got away. I really don't covet tarot decks usually. I mean, I feel like I don't have kids. I have the cats. I make enough money that if I want something, I can just buy it. So,
Yeah.
uh, and I'm also very picky. So the intersect of those things is
Hmm.
usually not going to happen.
Yeah. I get that. I get that a lot.
Hmm.
I Yeah, I just stick with mass market a lot of the time. If I could afford indie decks, I would,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I can't just drop almost $100. That's why that particular deck, like the Majestic Earth Tarot, that's why it was like so. It was like super upsetting because that was like the first time
Hmm.
that well, it wasn't really the first time, but it was like one of the only times where I spent so much money on a deck. Though I got the money back, but still,
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I remember like once I discovered the indie version of the Light Years Tarot,
Hmm.
remember reading about the controversy, but I remember seeing the card before I read about it, and I was
Hmm.
like, I did not get that at all. I mean, I get how
Me
people came to
too.
that conclusion, but
Yeah.
I was like, it looks so. The Ten of Swords in the original one looks more inspirational than traditional Ten of Swords than anything.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
more
because
like I
it's
under
supposed to be scars on the person's back where the swords were, right?
yes,
Which
but
signifies healing in my opinion.
exactly, like healing and just like, maybe not all the way there yet, but getting there. And then you had the 10 crows at the top.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, okay, this I really like this, but it just I don't know. I don't know how people I guess I get how people came to that conclusion, but it just I like it way better than the new card. I don't like the new card as much.
Yeah. But the new card, they she brought the new card right away into the thing. I think everyone who bought the in like the Kickstarter when they did the Kickstarter, she gave the new card right away in the
Yeah.
Kickstarter as well. It was included in some of the decks. And I don't think all the decks even I
No,
think
they don't.
only the Kickstarter I think had both, and then everything else, like, when she was still selling the indie, I think it just came with
Yes.
the new card.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah, and
not
then
all
When Hay House picked it up, it had only the new card.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. I really like the other one better, and I like the box too. The box set was really cool. And the book was
Yeah.
different, the guidebook.
Yeah, it was a different layout, but I'm pretty sure the text is the
Yeah, all the
same.
information's the same. It's just
Yeah.
I like having like limited editions or first editions and stuff.
Mhm.
And I do think considering um we are not interested. Thank you though. Um, yeah, so it's not the end of the world. It's probably the least coveted thing that anybody has ever
Mhm.
coveted, but I do wish I'd been able to get in earlier on that.
Yeah.
So a little bit of FOMO, but not a lot because it's not like I see people using it. Um,
No. And I don't think anyone who actually has that in their collection uses it anyway because if it's a collector's item, they probably wanna keep it in pristine condition for the most part, right?
yeah,
And they
yeah,
would if they really wanted to use that deck, they'd probably use the mass market version. That's what I would think personally. Like, if I was a true collector and wanted to spend that kind of money in the like the what do you call it? In the tarot space or whatever, and I wanted to bring that deck and wanted to spend that kind of money on a out of print deck, I would never use the
no,
deck in my opinion for
no,
collector purposes.
absolutely,
Yeah, and use the mass
absolutely,
market version.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, at this point I would, but like had I bought it, I probably would have used it. So, hindsight, I guess, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. That was really fun.
Mm.
I love when we have like similar things that pop up between us because we're so different in our collections.
Yeah.
So yeah, super cool. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna figure out what for June, we're gonna do our trio collaboration.
Yes. With
Um yeah, so we will be bringing in a third. I feel like I should do it like mysteriously or like you got to stay tuned to find out who. And if you know who you are, don't snitch. um yeah, so we're going to have a third join us for our tarot talk in June. And when
Yeah.
is that scheduled? So that is on
The
the
25th, no?
yes, the 25th of
Mm.
June. So keep an eye out so you can set those reminders.
Yeah,
If you are not subscribed to Sil, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hop over there. If you're not subscribed to me, subscribe to my channel
exactly. Yep.
and make sure you like
100%.
both videos.
Yeah, it helps with the algorithm.
Yes.
Oh, and also we're gonna be doing another tarot tag
Oh, yes. It's
next
gonna be
month.
another tarot
So,
tag. Not
yes.
as long since there's gonna be 3 of us, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a really
Yeah.
cool way to kinda learn who we are as readers and just
Yeah.
in the whole tarot sphere. So, if you are interested in that, and of course, join us so we can learn more about you guys as well.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Join, answer the questions too. We'll get to know everyone in the
yeah,
chat.
whole lot of learning going around, so that'll be really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, guys, we are gonna head out of here. Thank you so much for joining, and you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. All right,
Bye
bye, guys.
everyone.